Welcome to 202. There's only ever going to be one 202. There isn't, you don't get to have two 202s.
Unless we mess up badly, then we will.
Yeah, but I don't know if you've ever watched any of these episodes, but I kind of roll through a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see us.
Silent episodes like Simon and Garfunkel, Sound of Silence.
Yeah, 201 was silent.
Quiet, yeah.
Yesterday night.
I like those episodes.
Well, I mean,
Really?
films used to be silent
they're
for
like I can kind of keep
30
it
years.
in the background, and it's like I'm still with somebody. I get that parasocial kick.
Oh man, I got that real big right now. You guys want to see something?
What?
You know about it. You know.
Oh, is it the same guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
These two people are in love, and I've been watching them on live stream.
Is this the guy that's been live for months?
No, that's my friend Griffin. Let's see what he's doing right now. Because we can. Because we can, simply put.
You heard about that guy that got caught cheating? That guy right there in the thumbnail?
Coldplay CEO?
Yeah.
Who hasn't heard about him? Goodness
I only
gracious.
heard about that about...
Asmongold, and it was on Return of Meme.
I only heard about that,
Asmongold,
like,
for
2
some
hours
reason...
ago, actually.
Asmongold, for some reason... I don't know. I try to stay away from him.
Oh, you don't like him?
I don't. It's not that I guess I don't.
No, you can't. I'm just like interested in the reasoning. You know, I always like hearing why people like stuff and they don't like other stuff.
Maybe I don't have a good reason.
Is it just the way he looks? Like he does look like a dungeon troll.
Yeah, he looks like he owns a Discord server, and I think
He does.
Maybe I hate that part of like myself, if that makes sense.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you like Jason then? Because Jason kind of is like in the same territory.
Oh, not in my eyes.
Because he does IRL.
Are you lost? Are you floating?
No, I'm lost in the reference here, but...
We can pull stuff up.
Yeah.
Asmongold.
Fill you in. I mean, he looks how we're talking about. Not in a mean way, but in like a National Geographic way.
We're talking about like National Treasure Nicolas Cage. Yeah. I mean, he does have the goatee.
This guy... He's very good at the algorithm of social media, right? Like his clips. He's very like... I don't know how to describe it. If anything happens, he's going to talk about it, basically.
Kind of like Moist Critical, if you've heard of him.
Very much like Moist Critical. Yeah. Or like H3H3.
Yeah, I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Before
They're one of
Ethan
the-
went insane.
Yeah, but they're one of the OG
He did go
podcasters,
insane.
right?
He did.
That definitely happened.
Uh-huh.
Then he started
H3H3?
making videos with
Yeah.
Trisha Paytas and like... and then he like hated her. He made videos against her.
Yeah, he lost me.
Yeah.
It was all around the time that I feel like he made a podcast.
Podcasts,
Oh.
they either make or break you.
Yeah, I don't. No comment.
Hopefully this one makes you, yeah.
Makes us.
Us.
That's what's cool about podcasts. It's
Coming
like,
up on 1,000, baby. Coming up on 1,000.
yeah,
Hey.
800 episodes to go.
Yeah. Well, no, you're gonna. I told you you'd reach it by the end of the year, and you're on track.
Oh, the subscribers.
Yes.
Before you got here, you were talking about what it might be like to hit 1 million subscribers.
Oh, that would be like endorphins all the way. Be crazy.
There's no reason in thinking you're not going to hit it, because then why are you trying?
Right, unless that's not what you want.
I think you'd be
Yeah.
happy with 100K. Like you'd make tons of money.
I think
You'd
so
have a
too.
sizable audience.
So I'm not the one who came up with this, but did Genghis Khan need to conquer Vienna? No.
No.
Right? But as you get more territory, as you get more success, it just begets more success. So as you get to 1,000, 10,000, you're going to want to keep going.
It's a flywheel.
It is a flywheel. It's a
Yeah,
never-ending
because
cycle.
who knows like how much of that conquering was actually his. I mean, when you're that big, it's probably like a general or somebody that really handled most of the coordination.
Right, but all generals in history don't actually do the fighting, right? They take credit for it because they did the planning, they did the execution, but not the actual fighting. So
Kinda
when
like
you
Steve
say...
Jobs with the iPhone.
Interesting.
Well, Steve Jobs actually did do a lot of the engineering of the microchip. In fact,
Did he
he was
really?
he was a famous what do you call it, stickler for the details. So when he made the
Perfectionist,
microchip,
maybe?
so you could say perfectionist, but you could also say he was very particular. He wanted the microchip to look pretty, right? It doesn't need to look pretty. No one ever sees the microchip inside the iPhone.
Yeah,
But he's
they
like,
didn't
no,
have
no.
a. It wasn't like it used to be every September where they have everyone down and do the big event where like all the infographics look beautiful. They probably didn't show
Yeah.
that chip once.
I
No.
think it's important for spiritual reasons. You know, you're making something pretty.
Spiritual?
You're
Oh,
making
yeah.
something pretty. You
Oh,
know?
I thought you meant Apple Summit.
Oh.
Oh, it's, I mean, it is sort of a cult following at that point.
Like
but
a little bit. Like you're kind of right, actually.
It is spiritual.
Yeah.
I've had times in my life, years in my life, where I've tuned in. Why?
Yeah. So I want to start by saying, gentlemen, thanks for having me on the podcast.
Dude, thanks for coming, both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for like existing.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
You
you.
know, this guy wants to kill himself.
Oh, we're getting into this now.
Well, how can I not? It's like every time I look at you, I think this guy's gonna kill
you
himself.
told Harris too. You know, Harris came into the CVS while I was talking to some girl. Immediately interrupts.
When
me,
was
he's
this?
like,
A week ago?
Yeah, this is about a week ago.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "This guy wants to kill himself," and I'm like,
Yeah, because
we were
poor
having a
girl's probably in
conversation.
love with you. You got great biceps, you know.
It's the lighting. It's
Sexy
the light
hair.
bulb.
It ain't the lighting. I've seen you in all kinds of lights. And Harris probably saw this going on, saw love eyes for you,
No,
and
no, no.
thought,
He just came. I don't even know why he was in CVS. I thought he moved.
if I was Harris, I would want to say, hey, girl, listen, this guy's got an expiration
Hey,
date.
let me
Don't fall in
interrupt
love
this
too
conversation.
fast.
This
I
guy-
wish I could say that is the worst pickup line I've ever heard, but it's not, unfortunately.
What would the line be? Hey, I'm going to die?
No.
How did the bar thing go? Did you go to any bars?
Well, I ended up just making the best of the groups that I was already a part of. I'll keep it at that. I do have
Bars
something.
are that bad, huh?
Bars are that bad, especially in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where it's
They're
very
really that bad.
well. So you have a disproportionate population of young, attractive men
Yeah.
in Fayetteville, North Carolina, because of the military base.
Oh.
So the competition is a lot steeper, right? But without giving away any names, out of respect for her, I'll just say that I have something good going on, and that's that.
Okay.
So,
Okay, well, I don't want to dive into this too
That was
much. But when I
PR.
met you, things were not like this.
No,
Now
they
things
weren't.
have
Oh,
changed.
you
Yes.
just to know that he doesn't want to talk about killing himself. That's why all of a sudden I
No,
don't even know what he's
Aren't
talking.
you interested in this?
No.
Like a little bit.
I want to know more about why you're going to kill yourself.
All right. I mean, I kind of told you.
I know, but
Reason.
there's never a good answer.
There's good answers.
Just change your mind and
Before
say I'm
I
not.
do that, I do want to hear about this. What changed? Like, because you were in a place that wasn't this, and now you are.
right.
Yeah.
What
And
changed
fill
is
me
that
in maybe from the top. I don't know. I've never heard about it.
You
Yeah.
just wanted
So-
to like meet girls.
I think
He asked.
to
Same.
put the other point aside. I don't think you should kill yourself because I find you quite interesting.
Thank you.
That's exactly what I think. Yes.
But you didn't explain.
So it's nothing more than an opportunity presented itself. She actually approached me, and then I took advantage of it.
When was
So-
this? Where was this?
So this was just in Fayetteville. She messaged me privately, and and I took her up on it. I could tell she was interested, and
How'd she
So-
find you to message?
again, I don't want people to figure out who she is. So we're part of a club in Fayetteville, and so
I think I know the club, but I'm
yeah.
not going to say it.
We had known each other for a while, and she actually. So what's funny is I approached her back in January, and one of the best pieces of advice I ever got is that you don't text the girl, you call the girl, because that
Always
shows
call.
confidence,
Yeah.
right? But also, as sort of a backhanded method, it puts them on the spot to make a decision
Well,
right
also,
then
it's
and there.
good for like selection pressures because the people who do pick up the call, you want to get to know.
Right.
And it definitely creates a gap between you and all the other guys. That it's not that necessarily you didn't care, so you texted. It's more of the
That's what
guys that
everybody else
don't
does.
care will text.
Yeah.
Right. They'll text her. You know what blows my mind is the amount of dick pics that guys will send.
I've
Cold.
never seen a dick
Neither
pic.
have
What
I.
is
Right.
what?
I've never, right? But they will send
One of
dick
us has
pics.
got to be lying.
Cold. Yeah, right.
All right, I sent 3 cock pics. all the
Okay,
time.
I've seen a dick pic,
Yeah,
but
no,
it's
I'm
my
just kidding.
homie.
But if you ever talk to girls that are on Tinder, they get dick pics randomly. And that's the first message that a guy will send, right? And I'm just like, why would you do that? A, what do you hope to get out? I mean, I know what you hope to get out of that.
Yeah,
but
they hope to get
Maybe
a wow.
maybe it's like the
Yeah.
blind leading the blind. Like it's some guy with like an amazing dick sent a dick pic, and he tells all of his friends, and all of his little friends with their shrimps, they're just like, this guy John did it.
Yeah.
John cracked the code. Spread the message like Paul Revere.
Uh-huh.
Turns out,
that's what I've been
results
missing this
may
whole
vary.
time. Just send,
Results may vary.
Yeah. No words. The picture says 1,000 words, right?
Yeah.
So, no, that happens way more than it should. So, the fact that you
heard
call
this from
them.
a woman?
Yeah, this is. I regret being on the dating apps. So back in about 5 years ago, I was on the dating apps, and that's
Same,
how I found
brother.
out that you look waste of time. Don't use it.
Don't
You're
use
like,
it.
man, Jesse, you're so cool. You just don't send dick pics.
I know. So as long as you don't do that, you're already leagues ahead. But anyway, so when you call them, right, they get to hear your voice. They get to, and that's the other thing that here's a sort of tip for you guys. Whatever you think of the man, whatever your politics, Donald Trump took 100 phone calls a day in business. And he said,
Wow.
it's important that people hear your voice. So as an HR professional, that's my current job, it's so much better to call someone, to go to their office, talk to them, much more effective than to send an email, send a text, right?
What if they're
So-
not comfortable with the call? Because a lot of girls, you gotta like text them first so they're comfortable, then you can call them.
So that's a good point, and actually a friend of mine brought that up. He's like, my girlfriend that I have would have run away, literally, if I would have
Exactly.
called her.
Exactly.
And so it depends on the girl, but if I'm calling this girl, I've actually met her prior to, right? I've gotten her number. Well, this girl in particular, I didn't get her number. She was in the group chat for Run Club, but I had
Dude,
met
you
her.
said it. I was gonna say it rhymes with Run Club,
like-
but
There's a Run Club in Fayetteville.
I'm giving myself away. Yes, there's a Run Club. Now,
I don't wanna
I've
say
not given away the Run Club because there
The
are
only
three.
there's
There are
three.
three, right?
you've done
So,
just enough.
I've done just enough. No more of that.
The 3
So-
Run Clubs of Fayetteville.
Right. But no, if you're on the apps, you're not getting their number to call. I think you can call through Hint, maybe not. I don't know.
From what I've seen from friends I know who use the apps, you go straight for the number. That is the logistical approach.
Yes, so
You try
when
to
I was on the
minimize
apps,
time on the app. Yeah.
you want to minimize times on the apps because when they give you their number, they're committed because they can't just delete you like on Snapchat or
Exactly.
Hinge, right? So it's a lot more of a commitment. And so then you call, and then of course they hear your voice. And so I called her, and at the time she had a boyfriend. And so, I called her, I approached her.
Damn.
But you know what my line is, actually? Here's my line. All right, you can take this one.
All right.
She's like, I have a boyfriend. I said, I know you have a boyfriend. That's right, because you're such a nice person. Right, of course you do. So I was totally fine with it. She had a boyfriend. Hey, look, this one didn't materialize. That's fine. Let's move on to the next one. And so I was genuinely, I had passed my interest on her. I was done. But then she approached me later on. What I didn't know is that she had actually broken up with her boyfriend.
She's
yeah.
monkey branching?
No, so it was 3 months
Monkey
prior, so she
branching.
wasn't jumping ship quite a bit.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're all good.
Right, no,
Okay.
it's not like that.
Yeah.
But we're also, I'm not looking for anything long term. So,
Okay.
and
Well,
that's,
then fine. Yeah, monkey branching.
I told her right away from day one in plain English, we are not going to become a long term thing. This is a informal short term thing because I'm moving. Right.
It's a love story. Love doesn't.
So, and I'm also,
You want to have
despite-
sex? Oh, pro tip to all the gentlemen that are very horny right now. If you want to have sex with a girl, you honestly, one of the best things you could possibly say to her is like, oh no, don't say. Actually, I was gonna say I don't want to have sex with you, but don't say that.
You could say I'm going to kill myself, and then no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Please
that
don't.
just
Hey,
opens the
let the record show
floodgates.
that was a joke.
She's like, oh, that reminds me of my dad. Oh.
What the fuck? Okay, but if in my experience, getting laid is a matter of pretending you don't care if you
We're
get
thinking
laid.
you're above it or something.
Yeah. Whatever you can do in your mind to like completely rewrite your motive.
From what I've heard, it's like a psychological thing. Like, you don't want to make the girl feel cheap, so you're like, I don't want this. Like,
It's
you don't want this.
extremely psychological.
Yeah,
But the
it's like-
problem is that I realized that when I was young, and I would feel really guilty when I would end up getting laid because I would feel like seriously,
You
I would
saw
go
the-
from
You saw the secret door.
yeah. Well, it was very complex because I would be me, and there wouldn't be a lot to me, not a lot of sides. Like weed is fun, and my parents don't know I get high, so I smoke with my friends because it's a rush.
Right.
That was like that string of words like makes sense. But I want to get laid, so I'm gonna pretend like I don't want to get laid, and then it's like, what am I doing? And then it would,
You're following the script.
and then sometimes it would work out, and when it would work out, I'd be like, okay, that was awesome, I guess. But like, isn't there a way to get laid and be like honest? And I don't.
Dating apps.
So
I don't
well,
know.
Yes,
I don't
dating
know.
apps, but gentlemen, we can go down this rabbit hole. There's a psychological phenomenon that someone with a psych degree is going to tell me the name of it. I don't know what it is, but there's a situation to where in any relationship with two people, one person is going to want the other person more than the other, right? And so as soon
Interesting.
as you know that they want you more than you want them, you have the power, and then all of a sudden you're the winner, so they're not as interesting anymore. Whereas if you're the one chasing, they're a lot more interesting. So that's why
it's
you have to
addicting
pretend
if you're the one that wants them
to not
more.
care, is because that shows that you don't want them, when in reality you do.
Which I always thought was stupid,
Right.
but it's honestly just kind
Isn't
of a
that,
dance. Like
make
it
up
is.
the basis
it's
of
a love for
negging?
the
a dance.
game. Like if you play chess, you have to memorize the openings, and there's just no way around that.
What are mating rituals when you look out in the wild? Songs, dance, birds.
Yeah.
Right. So
For
one
the
of my
conscious
favorite
human
quotes.
being.
Top of the pack. Oh, are you going to reference
Yeah,
Sex Time and Power?
no, not Sex, Time, and Power.
Oh.
What If Alt Hiss says that the Eiffel Tower, the Mona Lisa, the works of Beethoven, it's all an elaborate mating ritual, and these are its peacock feathers.
Yeah.
You should read Sex, Utopia, and Power.
Is that on par with Sex, Time, and
Yes,
Power?
it is, but like in a different flavor. You should really read it.
So let me tell the listeners that a book that absolutely changed my life forever Would recommend this to anyone. Sex, Time, and Power. I forget the name of the author. It's on Audible. It is eye-opening. It's like I could see color
You can also
afterwards.
just like download it off the internet.
Can you?
Yeah.
So the one that I want to get is Sex and Power Through History by Anne-Marie Doriancourt.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So I've not read that one because I can't find it on audio. Like it's all paperback.
Oh.
And so
Is that
I
a
just
problem?
don't. I just don't have time to sit down and read, or at least I don't make time to. I don't believe in saying you're too busy to do anything. I just don't want to sit
Same.
down and read. So, but Sex Time.
Utopia and Power, I recommend.
Look, this book, Sex, Time, and Power, I couldn't put it down proverbially because I was listening to it. So, whatever that metaphor is, I couldn't put it down as soon as I started. It's so revolutionary in its thinking in that sex
How
is the driving
women's
force
sexuality.
behind society.
But
It
it's
really
also about,
it
like,
has
the
been.
moon.
So isn't it funny how women's cycle aligns with the moon? It does, right? It's crazy how they have aligned their cycle with the moon. Just
Wait, how do you know? Is that true?
It's based on the book. Also, I want to throw this out there for anyone listening.
That's not true.
This book is more of a mythopoetic speculation of various different theories. So take it with a grain of salt. It is very fascinating to stoke ideas, but it's not like
No,
it's
yeah.
pseudoscientific.
So in the same way that a circadian rhythm is not exactly 24 hours, your circadian rhythm does align with the sun.
Okay,
right?
we're bringing in GBT.
So
for
in the
this.
same way that women have their cycle every month, what happens every month? The moon changes its phases, right? So one of the opening points of this book that is so interesting is that one of the many ways you can tell men and women apart from the obvious differences is by their blood sample.
Okay.
So a blood sample of a man versus a blood sample of a woman, the man's blood sample will have a higher concentration of red blood cells. And so the reason why that is because men are not used to losing iron quite as much as women are. So the implication of this is, let me backtrack and say iron is an essential element or an essential nutrient to have. So we can debate all day about vegetarianism, carnivore, all that stuff, vitamin B12, vitamin D, all that. You cannot debate about iron and the health benefits of iron. If you have low iron, your children will be born at low birth weights. You will be unhealthy. Why is your blood red? It's rust. It's iron oxide in your blood. It carries oxygen. So anyways, women lose blood regularly due to cycling, but then back in the day, they would lose it much more due to childbirth, right? Childbirth takes a lot of blood out of you, I've been told anyways. So in the same way that, to use a military example, tank design, when they came out with high explosive anti-tank rounds, shaped charges, there was actually a phase in the 1960s where they armored tanks less than they used to, because it's like, okay, we have these armor penetrating rounds, so why even try to armor up the tank if it's just going to defeat the armor?
Exactly.
So in the same way that pine trees preserve water by having thin leaves, women mitigate the loss of iron by having fewer red blood cells in their bloodstream. So this is why men are better at sports generally, one of the many reasons. So more muscle mass, but also iron carries oxygen. So we are better sprinters, we are better power lifters because we have more iron.
Wait, so how does a woman having less iron equate to a smaller loss? You lost me somewhere.
So if you lose blood and there are fewer red blood cells in that same amount of blood, you will lose less iron.
Oh, so they have the same amount of blood.
So they effectively spread the iron out
Okay.
better, right?
It's kind of like maybe if you're falling and you stretch out like this and hit the ground like your full stomach and everything, the force is dispersed.
So
Kind of, yeah, a little bit.
the way they teach you to fall in martial arts is actually to hit the ground. Like as
Really?
you're falling. Yeah, because that way you minimize the impact by hitting the ground before you hit the ground.
I got a story for you guys. I got hit by a car on my bicycle.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah, really bad.
You got hit by a car?
My whole
And you're chilling now. Oh, you're not chilling, I guess.
Ooh. Is that a bruise, right? Oh
my gosh,
goodness.
it's real, chat.
Yeah,
It's real.
my shoulder is so screwed. But
And you still went to work?
Yeah. It was 2 days ago now.
what
And
a-
I'll tell you, at work today, I
What-
was telling my boss, I was like, damn, I'm like a superhero. Like I'm already like halfway.
would've
I'm already
quit my
halfway
job,
healed.
dude.
Like when it happened, I was like crippled, but now I like 2 more days and like I almost have full range of motion back in my shoulder.
Young men need
So-
to get hit by more cars just to
Yes.
man them up. No, I'm just kidding.
Just a man.
No, I'm just kidding.
But,
It's a
you know,
terrible
quick-
tragedy.
Before we get back to the conversation, I'm a survivor of a shoulder injury. All right.
Oh.
So my dad says I've always been an overachiever. So in one instance, I did everything you can do to a shoulder. I tore my rotator cuff, labrum, I dented the humeral head, everything, right? I got surgery. But guess what? My left arm is now stronger than my right arm. I did 100 pull-ups a day. I go to the gym. Well, I lift upper body 2-3 times a week. No pain, nothing. So you have a good future ahead of you.
What doesn't kill you make you strong.
I was going to say, who said that? Katy Perry?
Yeah.
Only if you make you stronger.
Exactly.
That's
it's also a Nietzschean
true.
philosophy, you know?
Like, I think it's very important that I went to work because I've been injured before, and I swear when you take that recovery mindset,
You're
it
done.
lingers for longer.
Really?
You're done.
I swear. There was once when I was young, and I got, look, here, the scar is right here. And an oyster went through my foot right here.
Oh, I see that. That.
Yeah, it was wicked gnarly.
An oyster went through your foot?
Yeah, I was in a marsh, and it
Oh, I see.
yeah, and
that's right.
I took it so easy. Like, everyone was like, you don't go to get stitches. I can't remember. I think I didn't need stitches. Like, I didn't get stitched up. Like, I just had the Band-Aid. Like, there's a lot of blood and everything, but I didn't walk on this foot for months. Totally unnecessary. It was like some weird mental thing where I was like, I'm still recovering. And I don't think I had to go like that. If I don't think I had to like inflict pain on myself, but I could have been a little bit more rough. Like, I could have been a little bit more like dedicated to walking on 2 feet again.
Yeah,
So,
Like, I
it's a
hopped
placebo effect,
everywhere.
right?
When you got back to walking them, was there much more of an adjustment period?
Yeah,
Right?
like
Yeah.
there was a time when like my right calf was like noticeably bigger than my left because I was hopping everywhere on my
Really?
right foot.
Oh my
Interesting.
god.
And I don't think that was the smart play at all.
I had the privilege of meeting a Medal of Honor recipient from the Korean War, and this is an extreme example of
This is very
healing,
interesting.
right? But he essentially held his outpost as the Chinese were coming in, because as you know, the Chinese like pushed us all the way back to Pusan. So they got surrounded and taken as prisoners of war. Well, he and his buddy were shot multiple times, and they said that on the march to the prison camp, their wounds healed. On the march,
Yeah.
they're marching every day, right? I'm not saying like if you get shot,
what
you
I'm
should
hearing
march.
is
But the human body
But-
doesn't really like care if you like it's you're gonna heal. Like
Yeah.
you can keep on with your routine. As long as you don't get like knifed in the back and like your daily routine requires like I don't know,
Back
laying on your
exercises?
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's.
No
I think.
lat pull downs for you, young
Yeah,
man.
I think if you can like, I don't know. It's like if you get injured, you just gotta know your body. And I bailed from that bicycle, and the guy that hit me ran, but 2 people pulled over, and they were like, "Oh my God, you gotta go to the hospital. Are you okay?" And I for as long as you can, when you get injured like that, you should try and stay completely still. For as long as possible, that should be your focus. Should be on staying completely still. And I just was like, okay, I know I've got a lot of adrenaline, but like all my limbs are intact, and like, ooh, I can tell my shoulders. You feel all your body parts, and you're like, yeah, I got scraped. You've been scraped since you were
struck.
a kid. Like, getting scraped is like one of your first injuries as a kid on your knees.
Right.
But then I kind of like, oh, it's my left arm, my left shoulder. That's where I landed, and I flew like 4 bicycle, sidewalk
Full
tiles.
measurements?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Like dude,
Did you flip over?
Yeah,
Oh, my
yeah.
goodness.
It was you see.
I can't believe people are out here getting hit in Hillsboro. Like, I thought this was a safe neighborhood for my kids.
It was the west.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the west side of downtown.
I see. That
And-
makes way more sense.
I was like, okay, if anything's really messed up, it's my shoulder, and then I go to move it, and it's like, oh, okay, I can still feel all my fingers. I can move my hand by the elbow, and I can shrug my shoulder. I just like, oh, it hurts when I do that. So then you don't do that. And I told them I'm fine. One of them took me to the movie that I was on the way to see. And when you just kind of think, okay, we'll see where I'm at tomorrow. Like sleep is the thing that really is gonna do it for you.
Yes.
Cover you, yes.
Yes, it's not a myth. You heal in your sleep.
Yeah, you're not gonna you don't need to sit around. Like you can
Yeah.
go about your normal day. My grandfather is a doctor, and my mom does say that he always used to say he's an ER doctor, and people would always come into him and be like, "It hurts when I do this, doc. It hurts when I do this," and he would say, "Well, don't do that."
Well, don't do that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, making the big bucks.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Well, it's funny because as we talk about exercise and healing through motion, right? There's a certain amount of pain that should feel good, and then there's pain that feels bad,
Yeah.
right? So when exercising it, obviously it hurts as it should, but it should be good pain if you understand.
And growing
how it
up,
feels.
it's hard to grapple with that. Like a lot of things are hard to understand. But what's the line? Because sometimes you find men that are kind of like addicted to the pain a little bit, you know?
Adrenaline junkies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it never kills them. Sometimes they end up just totally jacked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So to your point, right, men used to do a lot more physical labor just back in the day, right? Growing up, you just did more physical things. You go out and play with your buddies, you climb trees, you go play tag. So people used to be a lot more used to sensations, right? Good pain, bad pain,
The internet
fatigue.
is responsible for a lot of like the lack of that. Now people have access to infinity.
People are going to default to the easiest thing. So why is it that we're making less friends than we used to?
Actually, people are easiest might have to. I was just watching something. I think it was Vsauce.
Vsauce, he came back with a video.
Such
came
a
back.
banger.
He dropped a video. I was like 7 years.
You
It was
gotta-
7
you
hours
gotta
ago.
watch it.
Oh, I know
gotta watch
Vsauce.
it.
7 hours.
You
ago.
gotta
one?
watch it. A new
Okay.
one. Yeah, a new long form landscape full
Dude,
video.
and it was fire. It was a good
It's
video.
amazing.
Was it?
Did you hear the point that he made in it about how humans are drawn towards difficulty? Because
Yes.
before we grew conscious and all these things that make us feel so different animal kingdom wise, we pushed forward. You can even, I mean, this is very extreme, but we used to be like tadpoles in an ocean.
Yeah,
And-
all the way back.
Yeah,
right.
and the cells that it was all about reproduction, and the cells that did that and expanded the most are the ones that just went out.
Yeah, they made
And
it out of
as
the hood.
humans, we just crossed the Alaskan Bridge and like became Native Americans, and like while everyone starts to have different skin color. And
We went
everything.
to the North Pole. We went to the Sahara
And
Desert.
we
went
didn't
to the-
have to do that.
No.
So you think about like you have to be careful when you think everyone wants to do the easiest thing, because that seems right in certain scenarios, but the truth is we're drawn to difficulty. And that's
So-
why you find alcoholics and people that are homeless and people that are addicted to drugs. And me, I drink this iced coffee even though I tell myself over again I don't want to be drinking caffeine.
Comparing yourself to alcohol.
It's like, why do we do these things? Because
there's a difference between seeking fame and fortune and seeking stimulus, which is what alcoholics and caffeine addicts have, right? So Rudy is smiling right now because he knows the point that I'm about to make. Why do humans go to the North Pole? Why do humans climb Mount Everest?
Have
Why do we do
sex.
that? Well,
Oh.
it's about that. It is about that. It's because we believe, or at least the author of Sex, Time, and Power, as if this podcast
Circling
is just to
back,
give
yeah.
him, unlimited publicity. We believe that what makes humans different from animals is that we're the only animals who know we're going to die.
Right. Jack,
Animals have a survival
Jack is
instinct,
what I call
but we
it.
consciously know I'm going to die one day. I need to make my life count and achieve immortality somehow.
You've read Ernest Becker's Denial of Death, right?
No, I'm not.
Oh, that's
on.
basically the idea you're talking about.
Right.
Alright,
So when you
go
think
on.
about why are people climbing Mount Everest? So Sir Edmund Hillary wakes up one day, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. Why did he say that?
No, I'm not
It's
even
because
live
he
streaming
wants
yet.
to be immortal. He wants to be
And
talked
I'm not
about.
even
He's going to be
looking-
written in
like,
textbooks, and he already
recording-
is.
It's slow
Immortality
because
Project,
it's a
like in the book.
Yeah.
It's over
So
a
and the other
decade.
thing is, why do people?
Vsauce addresses this, by the way.
Yes.
So when we talk
video.
about the caffeine versus like climbing Mount Everest, there's a big difference. Sex versus immortality. Sex is a stimulus, right? We don't have sex as men just to have sex. All right, when yes, it's a sensation, right? We have sex because it builds a legacy. Like you
make
have
my
kids
sex
from
happen.
sex. This is
Wow,
why it's
I'm
been built into our
teleporting.
DNA. We have
Oh my
sex
God, how did I
because
even
I
end
will
up
have
here, bro?
offspring that will then
is so weird.
make me immortal,
Yeah.
right? So my kids are going to look like me. They're going to act like me. They're going to carry my
My
name.
house.
That's why I have kids.
But don't quote me.
But
Oh.
then sex provides another benefit, which is
Hold on. Yo, Griffin. Hello?
Oh, dude, I don't even know if I can.
Hey, we're live. I gotta go.
Bro, I can't even play, man.
Oh, he can't even hear us. Okay, I'm so sorry. I knew I heard something. Hopefully he wasn't talking over us for too long, because they're gonna
Yeah.
hear him.
and I'm not saying this is why we have sex. I'm saying this is what has been built in us over millions of years.
Uh-huh.
To answer your question about why humans are different.
So would you say sex is the intersection of a stimulant and a desire for long-term?
That's a really
Yeah.
good way of putting it. Yeah.
Sex is the vehicle, so to speak, in the same way that, for an earlier example, like I'm part of a running club. It's not about the running; it's about the people. It's about the club, right?
The running
So
helps. It's a stimulus.
yeah, but it's the
Running
running
It's
is
easier
is
to
a
talk
really-
to people on
running's great.
endorphins, you know?
yes, much different, but
Running's
not
great.
to compare the two. But sex is not about the sex, right? It's about the the consequences, right? The kids, it's about the status, right? So it's not actually about the sex.
But evolution tricks you because it feels so good.
Yeah.
You know-
Well, and of course, nowadays, in modern hedonism, we do it for a lot of different reasons. But
Right.
classically, there was no birth control, right? So you would have sex to have kids. Now, people tried contraception from day zero. They found condoms
Yak
back
skin.
in yak skin. They found,
Which is so funny that we would evolve to be conscious and then
and then try
and
not
have
to have
sex
kids, right?
without having kids. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
But-
They were like, maybe I'll make it. Maybe I'll be the one not
Yeah.
to have kids.
Honestly, like why? Like
Yak skin John, that's what he did
Mm-hmm.
in the local tribe.
there is someone in the world right now using a plastic
Bag.
grocery bag right now.
He's probably down the street. I mean,
Yeah,
My friend
yeah.
works at a grocery store. Maybe it's him.
I hope not.
Me neither. He doesn't
Yeah.
need to reproduce.
But so sex is different between men and women, right? So that is the goal that a man has for sex. It is to achieve immortality, to achieve status, right? For women, it's a lot different. Why is that? Women have to bear the kid, right? They have to bear the child. Childbirth was the number one cause of death for women before, I think, 1850.
Terrifying.
Childbirth is deadly. Here's why childbirth is deadly. So an ox, a cow, a sheep, whatever, they can give birth as the day is long. They don't care, right? Because their pelvis is this big. They're not bipedal like humans are. So because we stood up, to have the pelvis be the same size, your organs would just fall right through the hole in the middle. So it's not practical. So because of that, our pelvises are much, much narrower. Now, the thing is, we're not that far evolved from our ape ancestors that we've been able to deal with that. So because the pelvis is so small, and to complement that, our brain-to-body mass is the largest of any animal, right? Now, some people today will fool you when we say that humans are the smartest animals, but that's besides the point. So our brain-to-body mass is the largest of any animal. So the head is, of course, the largest part of the baby. If you've seen a baby, it has a disproportionately large head, right? So when you give birth with a larger than normal head and a smaller and narrower than normal pelvis, that creates a lot of problems, right? They've found skeletons where the baby head is actually stuck in the pelvis. That's very painful to think about, right?
Oh, wow.
But so because of that, human babies are born incredibly prematurely. So when a dog gives birth, right? How many times have you seen a dog and it might as well be a 10-year-old dog. It's like frolicking, playing, it's big.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
6 months old.
A giraffe will come out of there just walking around. Baby can't even open its eyes.
Walks right out of the womb. So human babies have to be born incredibly prematurely because the head will not fit through the pelvis otherwise. So that's why it takes, humans would actually stay in the fetus in the uterus for years before our brains are fully developed. That's why human babies are helpless.
Years.
Well, think about it. When were you able to speak, to walk, to do things you have to do as a human?
That was years.
Probably 2 years, right? I'm not a father.
Yeah,
or-
thanks, Mom and Dad. I would have died.
That's
Right.
also why there's no giraffe nurses helping giraffes give birth. They don't need it. They
Yeah,
don't need it.
they don't need it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
They
no
can give
dog
birth as the
nurses
day is
either.
long.
They're
Yeah.
busy chasing balls.
Yeah.
They're also giraffes that they can't think.
Yeah. Well, that was the joke.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Fuck, I shouldn't explain it.
So this
I
is
like
all
that
to
joke. That joke
bring
was
it all
really
back.
funny.
This is all to say that it is incredibly important that they choose the right man to have sex with. They choose good genes.
Yeah, and it's me.
Right. And it's you, right? Not that you care, right?
Yeah, it's not
Right,
that
right.
I.
Let's not
Yeah.
forget your humility too.
Yeah. Yes,
Yes.
I don't want to have sex.
Yeah, right. Who wants that?
Nobody.
Not me.
No.
Yeah. Anyway,
So, but it's incredibly important that they choose. So this is why women tend to be choosy. I don't think that's ridiculous to say, because it's built in them.
hella. They're
It's
choosy.
probably
Yes.
this baby is probably going to kill me. I have to choose the right man to not only have the baby with, so I have good genes, but who's going to stick around and help me to
There's a
raise
dual
the
mating
kid.
strategy though.
Yeah.
There's two different.
What's the?
There's the long term, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where all the nice movies come in, the rom coms of the '60s.
Mhm.
This little beta male boy will stick around, support
Yeah.
the kid, and there's also the short term mating strategy. You've read Sex at Dawn
No, I've not.
or Mating at Dawn, yeah. So that's why women
I have to read
go
these
for
books.
bad boys, but they also go for nice guys. These are
Mm-hmm.
colloquial terms, but in the evolutionary perspective, it's long term versus short term. Good genes versus he'll return with the milk.
Yeah.
He'll go to the store to get milk, and he'll be like, "Honey, I'm home."
Honey, I'm home.
I got the milk, and I didn't cheat on you with the milk lady. She was very sexy, but I'm here for the kids.
Right.
Interesting.
So they're the only animals. We are the only animals who look for the father to stick around, because in the animal kingdom, like deer, for example, like a buck will go up and impregnate a doe, and then he just leaves. He probably doesn't even know his kids.
He goes for the milk and never comes back.
He just never comes back, right? So, and then but the fawn, or I'm sorry, the doe gives birth to the kids, and it's just a Tuesday. She doesn't care.
That's why Bambi was like so chill,
I don't think I ever watched Bambi.
Mm-hmm.
So how about this girl?
How about this girl? Speaking of all that and the modern implications, I don't really want to talk about it. I have a good thing going on. I want to show a degree of respect.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Every time I talk about these,
once you put things out in the universe, it's no bueno.
Every time I talk about these things, always bad.
Yeah. I will say this though, for the men out there, be respectful of women and always be upfront. It is because of weak men that women are afraid of men, right? So if you play games, it's because you're weak and you're not willing to tell her what you actually want.
Yeah,
right? Or you're trying to, you're trying to be a leech, so to speak.
Honestly, ideally, we would all say to beautiful women, "Hey, I want to have sex with you right now." Mm-hmm. Ideally, we would.
Right.
And some of them know they got that telepathy.
Yeah, you want to be the person that you think would be better for the world, and it can bring a lot of dread and existentialness to your life. I get it, but it's gonna be, you're gonna suffer regardless. You should suffer for the purpose of.
Didn't she reach out to you?
She did, and so
that's always nice, right?
The way that's very nice. The way you can do that, Jack. There's a game that has to be played. We're talking about playing the game, right? So from the get-go, I was very upfront, and I said, "Hey, I want an informal relationship between us, right? I'm going to be leaving in 6 months, but even if I wasn't, even if I was just moving down the street, I'm not ready at this time to settle down. I'm very busy. Like I was cutting grass until 9 p.m. last night just to, for doing side jobs, and then also cutting my own grass. Like I'm busy. I have things to do. I can't settle down and give you the attention you deserve and that you need." So, and then I said that, but then as the night went on, we went to the end of the night.
And she probably heard, I would imagine she only heard the part where you said you need and deserve attention, and she was like, "He sees me. I do."
So, and maybe that's why we're still together, right?
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Well, you said you didn't want to talk about it. Let's not talk about it.
Also because she's like aware, like she understands.
Right. Well, no, but then I straight up asked her, "How open would you be to sex?"
There we go. That's how it goes.
And so this is, if you are hiding the fact that you want to have sex with her, she knows you do. Every girl knows that every guy is thinking that in the back of his mind, right? But you have to play the game. And so now it's different if this is the first time you've ever met them, right?
Yeah, you must imagine as a man that it is simply your turn, not your.
That's a famous red pill
saying. You're not chosen.
No.
I don't believe in that either. I think that's a little bit.
The famous red pill saying is, "She's not yours. It's just your turn."
Yeah, but I don't take it that far. She can. It can be your turn forever. But you get what I'm saying. My point is, I like to think of it.
That's a funny way of phrasing it.
I like to think of it that way because it kind of puts to bed that thing that happens if you're out in public and you're like. It kind of helps you decipher what are you really doing, right? If I see a beautiful girl. And I'm out and like my mind starts to go like, I should go and do something. Well, that might be what I want to do. But if I tell myself like, okay, well, it will be my turn. And I think of it that way, then I can imagine, okay, some guys definitely said this to her before. And I can realistically think like, why do I want to say this to her? If like, what did me and this guy have in common? Mm-hmm. And I can come to the realization sort of that it's like I know nothing about this chick. We don't share any of the same social circles. My last serious relationship was that's why I think dating apps are so incredibly interesting for the future of our like gene pool. Because you're going to be with these women and the only thing you have in common is that you're spending time with each other. Which is like...
Okay, I want to drop on that point.
That could be cool. And I honestly can find a lot of points to argue towards it. But right now, I think what I'm looking for... Because I don't like being alone, But it's like... I think that for me to start the process of like... I think a lot when I'm in these things. When you're in the think of it, I think I have a lot of thoughts. And it takes away from things like this. Like you said, cutting grass, and... and I would want to like, oh, I see this girl every day at school, regardless of if like, I don't know.
We all have needs, right?
Yeah.
We have the desire to have companionship, and then we also get horny, for lack of a better term, right? And so where relationships fail is a breach in communication between those two people. That's why I'm so
I would
upfront.
also argue it's a failure of propinquity.
Propinquity?
That is a $10 word. What does that word mean, Rudy?
Propinquity
Wow, you
just
don't know?
means forced proximity over time. The reason that so many people meet in clubs, or not like nightclubs, but like clubs like yours, or schools, or universities, or workplaces, is because you are forced to be in proximity.
Wait,
with
I thought it was
people.
the other way around. Propinquity would be when you meet with the girl on Hinge and you guys were forced in
That's
the relationship.
the opposite of propinquity.
Oh, yeah. See, this is what I'm saying.
This
It
is
can be
why so
spun.
many
It can be
people
spun
fail.
either way.
So,
Yeah.
The
Jack,
Hinge
I
thing
wanna,
can be spun.
I wouldn't hit on your previous
I've
point.
I've had this scenario fail for me.
Probably that's why, because you don't spend time with these girls for that extended forced proximity that you would at a school or you would at a workplace.
Maybe.
So you were
You're
talking
handsome,
about
man.
there's this attractive girl, let's say at a bar, and you're like, oh, I want to go hit on her. However, how many times has she heard that today, right? So I was in sales for a while, for about 6 months.
Or maybe it's more like,
And-
why do I want to hit on her?
Well, you
And
know
then
why.
You know why.
You know
yeah,
why,
Yeah,
right?
and
Here-
then like I get flashes of me as a 10-year-old, and I'm like, would my parents approve of this lust that I feel? No.
Well, if you grew up in a conservative household like I did, and I'm sure you did, right? There's that
I
baggage,
wasn't-
so to speak.
No, my entire family's liberal.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. But there's nothing wrong with wanting something from her, right? And then as long as she wants something from you, and you can mutually benefit, then there you go. You have something, right? The issue comes to where, hey, I want this from you. Okay, but I don't want anything from you. Okay, well, we're incompatible. I'm disappointed, but we're not making a sale, right? So you can approach her. And then to your point about how many times has she heard this today, everything you want that is of value, somebody else wants. Right?
Yeah,
especially
ain't that
nowadays
the
with
damn
online dating,
ain't
every
that the
girl is
truth.
being talked to by 10 guys.
You don't
That's
realize
why a 4
this.
feels like a 10. It's market inflation.
It's yes,
These,
inflation.
like
Yeah.
low-grade trollops think they're like Empress Diana or something.
Well, also the tin has been raised because now you have quick access to
yeah,
the most
that
beautiful
too. So
women
it's
of all
technology, but
time.
also like just mere exposure.
I mean, let's do this.
While it sounds
Thought experiment.
it sounds misogynist to say these
Yes, it
things,
does.
but if they didn't prove it time and time again, we wouldn't be saying it, right? So, because
I mean,
of the
give me a stand-up chair and I still would be saying it.
right,
Yeah.
but the digital marketplace applies to everything else.
Mm-hmm.
When the winner has always taken all, it's just now the all is expanded quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Look at this woman. It's beautiful.
like, so Jack,
Look at her.
we're on a podcast right now.
You're right,
right?
yeah, pardon me.
You are competing with the world. You are competing
Yeah,
with the world.
that's
Whereas
true.
back
I
in the
think it
day,
depends on the girl, but yes.
so no, I'm talking about to use an
Oh,
example
the
of
digital
podcasts,
marketplace.
right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
are
yeah.
competing with every single person on the face of the planet with this, who are in the podcast realm. Whereas if you were to start a local radio station, well, then you might be competing with 2 networks back in the day, right? So the dating marketplace is the same thing, to where it's globalized. So now the hot girl in my town is no longer the hot girl in my town.
Mm-hmm.
She now is getting offers to be flown to Dubai, to like, Monaco.
It's
all
just
these
not a
places,
joke, people.
right? No, it's not a
I
joke. It's
laugh
absolutely
because
not
of
a
what
joke.
they do in Dubai.
Well,
Yeah, it's speculation.
it's all speculation.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's
yeah,
proof.
but, like,
I'm sure there's
corroborating
proof.
evidence, yeah.
I haven't looked for the proof.
To be a pretty girl is
Right.
you can say that you're good at imagining other people's scenarios, but there's a difference between saying it and actually like you have to
doing it.
really
No. Be respectful of their choices, right? Consent is key. This is why when I brought it up to her, I was like, hey, look, so how open are you to this? Take your time. She's like, I'll need some time to think about it. I said, please take your time and decide. However, this is what I want because I will be gone in 5 months. Okay, this is what I want out of this relationship. If you don't want that, that's fine. But this is the last time we see each other in private. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with saying no, and I think there's nothing wrong with that pitch, because
It's a
if
very
she's
honest pitch.
right, so I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting her time. And if she says yes, then we have a mutually beneficial relationship. So
yeah.
it
With
it comes
more people
from
than people
weakness.
do. Yeah.
Whereas if you're the guy that's not courageous enough to tell her, hey, I want sex, you think it in the back of your mind, she knows you want it, but you're not man enough to tell her respectfully and ask it from her, you're never going to get it. You're going to get frustrated, and then you're going to take it out on her in anger. So it's weak men that we should be afraid of.
Well, there is sex without the explicit question of, yo, can I have sex with you?
Yes, I mean,
Yeah, but then it's just subtextual. Like
I'm not
is
sure I've
still
ever
being
actually
asked.
said, hey, can I have sex with... I don't think I've ever actually said that. Maybe
Well, you
once.
use a lot of substances, right? Or you used to?
Yeah, I used to.
Yeah, that's kind of like the version of that
yeah, I mean,
being done.
Interesting.
Yeah.
it's again, the world is a lot more complicated than is not so black and white. But you need to be careful nowadays.
Have you
right?
ever asked a girl, "Can I see your apartment, like your frame?" Like,
No.
oh, you got a nice vinyl. Can I see your vinyl?
No.
Oh, I
Same
mean,
thing.
I
Same
mean,
thing.
that's the age old. Like, I have asked that. Like,
No, but
I
I
would like to come
genuinely
back to
am
your-
interested in the vinyl, like too. Like
Oh.
you can be interested in the music and also.
I mean, when I say I want to come back to your place for a drink, the implication is clear, right?
I'm like, oh, you have a cool poster, you know. Like, we'll see what happens. We'll see what where the night takes us.
There was a time where I this is a bit of a funny story, but I said, "Can I come back to your place for a drink?" And she didn't get it. And let me ask you this: when I say "Let me come back to your place for a drink," and you're to some degree culturally,
Right.
fluent, you know what that means. But she either was denying
But
that
was
she
she
didn't know.
naive?
It.
Well, you
For
can
what
never
you-
know
know.
what's going on in her head.
Did she have any
Right.
tattoos?
What if she
So-
had 3 boyfriends, one of which was waiting for her at home?
Right. So to be, because I never
I'm
want to be,
serious.
I never want to be in a scenario to where I'm putting pressure on her. Right. So I straight up asked her after that. I asked a couple of leading questions, so to speak. When I could tell she wasn't getting what I meant, I then straight up asked her.
Well, yeah, because maybe you can't, like, I would actually say that you wouldn't know if she didn't get it or couldn't understand what you meant. But what you do know is that this girl is not answering.
right. So I never want it to be a surprise.
Yeah.
I always want them to be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Right. And if they're not comfortable with it, hey, that's fine. However, this is the last time we see each other.
Yeah. A lot of
I
times
would really like New York.
on
you know?
Hinge, a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
times
They're very upfront there.
people...
Hey, Northerners, look, I'm a Northerner. I'm a Yankee. I'm from Pennsylvania.
Right.
We have things to do. That's why we're so.
No, it's a good quality to have. It's a good
Yeah.
quality. Yeah.
I like having things to
New
do.
York, I'm just saying they're very upfront about sex. They be porking.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, they are. New York is like, New York and Miami. If you want to get laid, go to those places, and California. Those 3 places.
Interesting.
Well,
I
that's
feel
'cause-
like this is obvious. Like, duh.
Interesting.
Those 3 places also have some of the most beautiful women on the planet. So it's almost like a feedback loop.
Gentlemen, I took some mushrooms 2 weeks ago, and good God, everything was like giggly and funny and bright and interesting all of a sudden. But then we passed these girls on this hiking trail, and I felt the blood in my body. It was insane. It was so insane that my focus just completely went to okay, you keep your eyes on the trail.
Okay. Everything around you was just going crazy, and you had to
It was so powerful. The curves and the
the curves.
seriously.
Nature is so beautiful.
I know
isn't it?
I have a bad nose and I know I can't smell, and I wasn't smelling anything all day, but I swear I would smell them 20 feet away. It was
Really?
Yes, it was insane.
So this is a good tab to open up. Let's talk about drugs.
I love drugs.
Let's talk about drugs.
I love drugs, but I don't do
Society
'em.
can't function without drugs.
I used to sell drugs
Let's
back in
stop
the day.
pretending like it can. What do you mean you sold drugs?
He
Back
sold
in the day.
drugs.
So Elon Musk is famously quoted in saying that drug dealers would make better businessmen than actual businessmen, or at least most of them. Because think about what you have to do to be a drug dealer, right? You have to be able to get the product
And
from a shady
you
person.
completely come to
Shady,
terms.
These people are very nice.
Well, okay, not always, but they might be a shady person. You have to be able to establish a network of clients.
Yes.
You have to not get caught.
And you
right?
have to completely be okay with what you're doing, which is
Yeah.
which inhibits a lot of people from making a lot of money, because they're like, oh, I don't want to be this person, I don't want to be this
If
person.
it wasn't me, it would be somebody else.
Right. But the skills they're using to sell drugs are the same skills, in fact, that businessmen use, right? So they're getting reps at it more so than the guy who's studying business in college. He's not learning anything. They're actually doing it. But drugs, I think, should be legal, all of them, pretty much.
I'm with
And I
you.
think society would benefit because the people who would use the drugs are already using the drugs. What happened when they legalized weed in Colorado?
I don't know.
The
You
economy
lost-
went up.
You lost money if you bought weed stock. You know
Really?
how yeah, you lost money. And the reason why is because everyone thought, oh my goodness, they're going to legalize weed. All of a sudden, everyone's going to swarm to the stores and buy all the weed off the shelves. Weed stock is going to skyrocket. Weed stock tanked because the people who were already using it kept on using it. And then for the people that were on the fence about it, like you were talking about with what was the example you brought up about like hiding stuff from your parents? Right?
Yeah.
So it's not
They
illegal.
can't even go to the shop. They're
Well, it's
like-
not illegal anymore, so there's nothing novel about it. It's not cool.
Yeah.
Right?
I moved out and I was still smoking weed and I was like, what's the point?
Right.
Feels way more
Oh yeah,
empty.
the example was weed. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
like-
So so weed consumption actually went down, and the weed stock went down. So the people who want to use the drugs are already using the drugs. Most people actually don't like most drugs. Funny enough, you'd be surprised the amount of people that
I wonder
don't
if
drink
there's, like,
caffeine.
some evolutionary reason for that.
Well, it's the younger you are when you try something, the statistically, the more likely you are to have a life dependency on it.
That's true for, it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg,
Yeah.
right? If you're being raised in a house where cigarettes are being smoked all the time by your parents, right?
I'm talking
And-
more the scenarios you go out and you find it on your own. Mm-hmm. And the more you do it as a younger kid, the more it's just...
Well, that's true because you develop neural pathways and dependency on it,
Uh-huh.
right? You use it as a coping mechanism, which addiction is not due to substances. It's due to a mental coping mechanism that you develop. So a good example of that is Vietnam War veterans coming back. They used the hell out of drugs. They used opium. They used cocaine, all kinds of stuff in Vietnam where their life was hell. And then when they came back to the States and they had that emotional support network, they actually turned down the drugs and stopped using. A lot of them. Some of them turned out to be.
I coped crazy style, man. It was crazy. Seriously.
But what do drugs do, right? Drugs do something.
They give you the illusion of control over your own... I don't know.
Well, they also lower your inhibitions. I would argue that it's also a social thing.
Depends on the drug.
Well, because your inhibition, the drug gets wrapped into your like pathway of accomplishment, and there's only so much time in a day, and neurons in your brain, like this is why people pay for services that block certain social media apps on their own phone,
Right.
because it's everyone, when some people have something that they really strive to give more and more of their time to, and weed at the start can like make you feel like you're improving the quality of the time that you already have, but you're actually just taking away from it.
I mean, is that not a coping mechanism?
So I'm going to come on the record and say that is absolutely not true. My brothers are both incredibly successful young men, and they both use a lot of weed. So my older brother is a CEO and a doctor. My younger brother is a professional musician, a music teacher, a DJ. They both
Really?
are, and they're both in incredible shape, by the way. They're heavy weed users, and they are great people. I don't
they
use
just
weed.
be the exception of, like, they do it. They are successful and they use weed. Not they're successful not because they use weed.
I don't know.
I
think
can't say
I
that
actually
because-
I don't know. Maybe I worded this wrong. I often think if I continued, September 19th is coming up. That's my 2-year anniversary of stopping smoking weed. I think if I continued to smoke weed, I don't think that I'm not even quick to say that weed like took years off my life. So I don't know where. I don't know. It's weird because I don't do it, but I think I can separate. I think sometimes I try, like right now, I actually want to step back and revoke what I said earlier, because I want to separate my.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
I can too.
Can't do that.
I can too.
I was gonna ask, do you think there are just exceptions to the rule?
So they are exceptions. However, it does not disprove my point that drugs are not set in stone, so to speak. Like if you smoke weed, then this will happen to you. That's not true.
It's not.
Weed does a thing, and they use that thing to better themselves, right? So what weed does is it shuts down what's called the default mode network in your brain, and it causes you to shut down the neural pathways that you have learned to view life through. So it's like you're seeing things for the first time. So what my older brother will do, he's also a parkour enthusiast, right? So he can do
Very talented.
backflips
Yeah, this
and
guy's
yeah.
cool.
Out here,
So
yeah.
what he will use it for is it takes him out of his regular state of mind to where he practices a trick, and now he's looking at it through a different lens, and he can learn it better because he's thinking himself out of a box. He's thinking outside the box is the better way to say it.
It's weed.
No, but they all psychedelics. Weed is a mild psychedelic. They
It
all do
is.
the same thing. Weed is just a milder version of it.
He's dead
Right.
right. When I was younger, I would find myself on top of this ladder where I didn't have to climb the ladder, but it was like I couldn't get off the ladder. And each step, to make it a metaphor, the first step would be like I wonder if these people like me. And then from there, I'd step up to like, I think everyone hates me. And from there, I'd step up to like, well, because I think everyone hates me, I'm going to act in this way. And then I'd step up like, because I act in this way, I'm going to act in this way. And then you get to the top of the ladder and you're like, fuck, but you take a hit of weed and it's like you can see yourself on the ladder from over here.
Okay, but I have to ask
You
you
just
a
skip
question.
steps.
Well,
Okay.
you could it allows you to like
Oh, you can see your
detach
thought
from
patterns.
detach
okay.
from
But
like
do
who
you
you
need
are.
to go through all the steps of the ladder, then only the weed works, or would you take a random person who's never climbed up the ladder and they can see the top?
Well, I think living a life, experiences happen, and have you ever heard a religious person describe like a higher power encounter where like their skin lights up with goosebumps and all?
Mm-hmm.
I would have that kind of thing when I'd be stoned, and I'd have it when I wouldn't be stoned. You know, you don't have like it's not only weed that can do this. It can just come about sometimes completely normally. There's all sorts of particles in the air all the time. I don't know what you might breathe in. Like
There's a fantastic quote from a pastor that said, if I can experience God through a sunset, why can I not experience him through a mushroom?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because what mushrooms do, it just plays with the chemicals that are already in your brain. Right.
You
So
said weed was a mild psychedelic,
It
so
is.
does that mean you have to take more of it to get the psychedelic effect, like a bang bar?
Well, so you develop a tolerance, right? So my brothers will actually take tolerance breaks. So what they'll do is and it's funny because we were all home for Easter during COVID. We were all together because we were in school at the same time, and so they took a week tolerance break. And I knew they broke their tolerance break because I went back in the the living room and I saw their faces, and I just said, "They are not here. They have risen."
I love
So-
being
I might
high.
have to try weed then. I'm not normally a weed guy, but if it has,
You sold it for so long.
I can't
Yeah, but I
take
never did it.
weed because I work for the government. So, so tell us about your selling weed experience. So you never used it,
No.
but you sold it.
Well, like
Interesting.
I smoked. I wanted to try it out,
Mhm.
you know. So I smoked. I think the first time I smoked was sophomore year of high school. There was this kid named Sketchy Sean.
Sketchy Sean. My kid was named Broccoli, but his
Oh.
name is Brinkley.
Broccoli. That's good. Me and him, we both were kind of like we both hated school so much. So we had this like I don't know shared interest of hating school.
Mhm.
So me and him became friends, and eventually he was like, "Have you tried weed?" I'm like, "No, of course not."
Broccoli and I just rode the same bus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Logistics. So eventually he smoked me out, and I was like, not for me.
Yeah,
Oh,
Broccoli
okay.
smoked me out too.
But he did teach me how to
hazed
sell
me.
weed.
I got hazed like his older brothers probably did to him. I realized that all in one moment as I'm like detaching from my mind, and he's like, "Okay, this one's you, this one's you," and I took like 7 hits of the fucking
Oh, you did a dab.
gravity bomb where the
Ooh.
with the chrome plating would melt off the socket, and you inhale all the butane in the lighter because it would not filter through the water. It'd just be
man.
trapped in the plastic.
That was brutal.
Like 6, 7 of those back to back. All of a sudden, I'm like, "Yo, I think I'm learning how to walk again."
You kind of were, right?
A little bit,
Dude,
yeah.
But and so the
Straight
thing
up.
is, right? You know, drugs they only do what they do. It's how you use it that matters. So the typical wake and bake stoner, so to speak, person, right? That guy who you can smoke weed and then just watch TV, and all of a sudden everything's funnier, and then you don't do anything. But
That
my
guy's the
brothers,
opposite of your brothers. Yeah.
yeah. So but that applies to any drug. What does caffeine do? Well, it just stimulates you. It stops you from being tired. That's
But there
all
are
that it does.
600-pound fellows that drink Mountain Dew every single day,
Mhm.
and caffeine is there going to
No.
kill them.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Sugar. You
Oh.
said Mountain Dew.
Well,
now, caffeine is in Mountain Dew. That's not why
Energy
they're drinking
drinks
the Mountain Dew.
stops their heart,
Right.
you know. But then there's the other guy that drinks 3 energy drinks a day, but every time he drinks one, he's locked in.
There are many studies that say caffeine is actually quite healthy and not dangerous at all.
Oh,
there are
it's
freak
very
examples.
dangerous.
There are freak examples of
Especially if you do the right form of caffeine.
right.
Like
So,
high-quality coffee.
for example, we do Sober October every month. My brothers and I and a couple friends. I have absolutely no trouble giving up caffeine. I get no withdrawal at all.
I
My
get
older brother,
headaches.
he does energy drinks. He does 5-hour energies, all that concentrated caffeine. And so he gets withdrawal, headaches, all that stuff. So what caused alcoholism? To further solidify this point, liquor, right? We never really read about alcoholism. Yeah, there was the town drunk. There was all that stuff.
Right.
But it's until you distill what is in nature, that is when you start to get a lot of
Oh, so
bad
you're not drinking 5-hour
issues.
energy and monsters. You're
Right.
drinking tea?
So I drink coffee.
I think tea is safe. I think coffee's too high.
I mean,
I think it more
coffee's
depends on
fine.
the quality, I would argue.
So
Coffee's scary because there's
the point that I'm
this-
trying to make is
I don't know how much caffeine's in this,
When people overdose, what are
I
they,
would
what do they
guess it's
overdose
two,
on?
based on how
Liquor?
I feel and how much it is. I would
So,
guess 200 milligrams.
believe-
Liquor is what kills you with alcohol, but when they overdose on drugs, what do they overdose on?
Pills.
Pills, right? Heroin, distilled opium, right? So, for example, Mountain Dew is nothing more than distilled sugarcane. So, sugarcane has this much fiber in it, right? If you were to eat all that fiber, it would undo the oxidative stress that
Which is
sugar
why
would impart
fruits
on
are
you.
fine.
That's why fruits are fine, because
Right.
it has that fiber. It has the antidote to the poison that sugar is. But when you distill it and you take that out of its natural state, right? So yeast, when it produces alcohol, the yeast will die at 13% alcohol. So you can't naturally get more than 13%.
Right.
So when you distill down to 50%, like with liquor, that's when you start running into issues. Just like with opium, when you distill it down to heroin, that's when you die, right? Because we don't have a natural. It's too much for your body to react to.
What about milk? Is that fine?
Well, you could
is
concentrate
fine.
milk to the point of death.
I mean,
probably.
What I
There-
mean
there's
is,
not
like,
a-
I'm trying to quit sugar, so I'm
Oh.
only drinking milk and eating like fruits.
There's definitely sugar in milk that you buy from the grocery store.
Lactose.
lactase, but yeah, it's
And
just-
sugar.
and
Well, yeah. So if you ever talk to foreigners, they say that American food tastes incredibly sweet,
Yeah,
just because there's sugar in everything.
everything.
And it's very easy to hide the sugar because they call it like dextrose and
right.
And because we eat it since we're children, like it doesn't. We don't
Yeah.
even understand. It's our standard. It's
But I
our
was gonna
standard.
ask you, like, if I'm quitting sugar, should I cut out milk?
No, milk is fine.
Okay.
It's like
You're
milk,
sure? You're not
cheese.
just saying
Yeah.
that?
No, I'm not. I quit sugar.
Okay, I'm trying
Yeah.
to quit sugar.
Sugar
I
was
think-
by far the hardest thing to quit.
me too. Yeah.
By far.
I mean, sugar
like
and porn.
tobacco.
Porn.
So porn is a different issue, but
Yeah.
Okay, this
like,
is episode's
No,
over.
I got some real problems.